Hello, everybody. I just want everyone to know that I love you and I care about what happens to you, okay? And this video should be a little bit better because my wife showed up before I went to film this thing, right? And she said, two things. She said that the do not disturb, she says, please turn that off. So in the middle of your videos, it doesn't always chime in and go ding. But I have noticed if you guys watch them, it's usually when for some reason, how it's timed, it's usually when I make some kind of major point in my video. Then it'll go ching, it'll chime in. But anyway, so she said that, and I got to have my wedding band on when I make my videos. Okay, so there we go. So I'm all set. All right. So Gypsy Rose Blanchard, the nerve of this bitch. Ash Blonde 6, I know hasn't shown up. No. You guys saw the video that I put out last. I put the small video I put out with Gypsy running around the grocery store with this is supposed to be her baby Aurora, and it's obviously screenshot. You saw it because she's got two right feet on her. On the one kid's leg, at the end of the kid's leg, the foot, the big toes all the way on the outside, and those little toes on the inside. Okay, that's screenshot on there, and it's all fucked up. She used AI. She's an idiot. So anyway, the other first two videos I made, Ash Blonde 6 was on it right away, making excuses and this and that and the other, right? And you know how she does. Go look, right? Go look over there on YouTube or here on YouTube, whatever. Go look, but not that one. Not that one. What can she say? What can Ash Blonde 6, Gypsy Rose Blanchard's best friend, what can she say about her kid's foot's on backward, whole legs on backwards, foot, whatever, right? Can't say anything about that. So we haven't heard a peep out of them. And that brings me to this, guys. I'm going to ask you again to use the good sense that God and Granny gave to you. Why, if you have a real kid, would there be any AI pictures? Why would you do that? Why would you make an AI picture of your baby, right? And then put a sticker on top of it because you're trying to protect. Do you not understand the fakery and the nonsense involved here and why it makes no sense if you have a real kid? You wouldn't do that. Maybe you're not understanding the logic and stuff. And the reason what I'm saying here is she's taking an AI we know from the foot. No one's feet are like that. Okay? Look down at your feet, everyone. Now pretend on the one side it's flipped around and the little toes up the first one and the big toes ending it. That's what's on that baby on the cart. If you haven't seen it, go watch my last little video. It's like 30 seconds. Okay? No one comes like that. That is AI. But she puts a sticker emoji thing on top of its face to protect what it looks like. Come on, guys. Think about that. Think about that. We know it's AI, but she's got to protect the face of it, implying that's her kid. She's trying to tell us that's her kid, which means she does not have a baby, or she'd have the real baby there and could cover up its face. You wouldn't do this, man. Okay? And this bitch doesn't go to Walmart. This bitch goes to Walmart to film for us. Look, I got the skinny on her. Look, I got the skinny on her up and she orders everything. She runs around with a pack of women. Okay? Now, I understand she was gay for the state, I'm sure, for 8.5 years, I'm sure, and that's fine. But I think that's what's going on. And that's her business. So, whatever. That's her business. But that's what's going on. There's people that watch her and are reporting to us. She's around nothing but women ever. There's no Ken ever. And she doesn't have a baby. They get a baby that they use to do these things. You guys have to understand, man. If you just see a picture of them or you see a video that they make for 5 minutes or they go show up somewhere and get someone to take a picture of them real quick, that takes 5 or 10 minutes of these people's time in the whole month span or whatever. And they're laughing at all of you. Because that's all they're doing. But it's a mind fuck. Because people in their mind somehow, they've trained, I guess, they think that, okay, well, what's going on in that video? All right, well, that's carrying on into real life, And then, you guys, and it doesn't matter if they do a live stream for a little while, and then that's it. He's in Florida. He lives in Florida. They've got all kinds of fucking money to come together whenever they need to do these stupid little things, to shut people like me the fuck up. And it's not going to work. This is so stupid. Those of you that have children, would you ever be putting AI created pictures of your kid, likeness of your child out, and then covering up its face to protect its identity? That is so fucking ridiculous, man. I cannot believe anyone's falling for this. It's not mentioned in her divorce papers. There are no paternity tests in the whole... Guys, she can't have it both ways. The motherfucker can't say the baby's name was Anderson. They made this big thing. And now the baby's name has officially been changed to Urker because the paternity test. You cannot do that. You cannot change the name on the birth certificate unless the paternity test was court ordered. There is no mechanism anywhere for you to go get one on your own and file any kind of thing. I don't give a fuck if you dig up Johnny Cochran and bring his bones to court. You cannot file. There's nothing to file. They have to court order the person you're saying is the father. And if you were married it was a product within the marriage, which it was, Dumbo's Big Ryan's going to get tested first. Period. Ryan Anderson with his birth has never, ever, ever been tested or ordered for paternity ever in Louisiana. Ever. Neither has Ken. Neither has Gypsy. That is an impossibility. If she wants to say that that baby's name was legally changed on that birth certificate, that she tried to show us that bogus birth certificate. If she wants to say, if she's standing by that's true, which it would have been born with the name Anderson because it was within the marriage. Well, then you have to, at that point, the burden shifts and they need to prove it's otherwise. It's someone else's baby. And that starts by the father, the husband being the presumed father, of course, tested first. Period. Every time. It does not matter. And they would never, ever finalize a divorce by someone that's not 30-some weeks pregnant. There would never even been a court date for that. They would not have had a December 9th court date. If this bitch was due in January, she was originally due January 26th, they would have kept the court date until fucking April. It's a divorce. There's no rush. Why do you people, for some reason, think there's a rush on a divorce? And because, well, if the court date's for the divorce, they're going to do the divorce because it's a court date and it's set. No, the judge would have never allowed a court date, knowing that she was that far along. He would have not allowed it. They would have and if for some reason it got through and he found out that she was pregnant that day, then he would have 100%, you could call his fucking secretary right now, would have 100% continued it until after the baby was born. And then everyone would have got fucking tested. Stop it. There's not an order for any of them. And then they want to lie to you and tell you, no, it's because the minor child's involved. It's sealed. No. It just says minor child in there. And it's just a court order. I'm not even asking for results because there are none, because there's no court order to establish them. There is nothing sealable, nothing confidential, nothing private about someone's paternity. Nothing. Especially not just the court order to establish it. And the court order goes in Ryan's name to establish the paternity of a minor child. Wouldn't even say the name. Well, that has nothing to do with confidentiality. It has nothing to do with sealing a minor's record. And furthermore, you wise asses, this goes to you mainly, Big Sheena. I think you're so fucking smart. You're a fucking idiot. If you even had a goddamn associate's degree in criminal justice, you would know better. She wants to tell you, it involves a minor. No, the only thing sealable and private with a minor is their criminal record. So when they become adults, if they fucked up and did some felonious behavior as they were children, that it shouldn't be held against them when they're starting their new life, starting their whole life with education and employment and stuff. That's what's sealable. Okay? Adoption records aren't even fucking sealed unless the parents giving up the baby don't ever want that child to be able to locate them when they grow up. And that's the only reason. All this other shit, oh, because the kid's involved. No. And the only other one, there's another third one. If the child is if a child is a victim of a crime, just like if they're the perpetrator of a crime, they're not going to tell you their name in the news or whatever. Just like if they're a victim of a crime. Okay? All right. So now we're clear on that. There's nothing sealable about it. And you can scour Louisiana's court records all you want. Call people. Just call. They'll talk to you. There's no record on it at all, anywhere. You guys, when I was in high school, when I was 18 years old, this girl got pregnant. And she tried to say it was mine. All right? Well, yeah, I had slept with her a few times, but right around the time. So, but it came up, it wasn't mine. All right? That whole thing is still on the docket now. Fucking 40 years later. It's still on there. Okay? And this was in the 80s when they were just now, paternity tests were just a big thing. And they had them down. Okay? All right. It's still on there. Doesn't mention the baby's, didn't mention the kid's name anywhere. It said minor child. I've explained this before in a whole video. She doesn't have a baby. Stop the madness. This is ridiculous. And now, this Joe Velasquez dude, another person with autism, boy, I see a pattern developing here. This is he's a scapegoat for something. This motherfucker's up to something. That's why they're showing all these posts with him acting like a stalker. Oh, now he's a stalker. He's a stalker. Sending gifts to him. Why is this happening? Why is she doing this? There's a reason for it. There's got to be a reason for it. Right? And if Ken was really in a relationship with her and they really had a baby, which they don't, there is no baby. You think that prissy, snotty, know-it-all fucking thinks he's better than everyone, loudmouth bitch, Ken, who just appears out of nowhere, what, bi-monthly to try to fucking fix all the damage her and the fucking dumb bitch create throughout the month, you know? That dipshit's supposed to be the voice of reason or whatever, right? Do you really think that he would just go for that? This fucking stalker guy that was writing to her way back in prison and all this shit is sending gifts to him and his baby, supposedly. They are setting us up for something. They are setting us up for something with this dude. And you guys remember, she's in that big club. She made the deal. That's why she got everything she got. That's why they shifted the whole blame to Nick. That's why how she got out of it, basically. Don't be surprised if it's a whole fake thing that this dude took off with Aurora and they're gone now. Or who knows what. Something's up with this, though, guys. I'm not going to let this go. Gypsy Rose Blanchard, Ash Bond 6, whoever the fuck you are today, motherfucker, hear me and hear me good. I'm not going to let this go. And I got people watching you. There are people watching you now, bitch. Okay? And I know you ain't got a man, and I know you ain't got a baby. And I know about you and Amber J. And I'll see you in the next video.